Hello, everyone. I'm MW Nick with a director's audio commentary. This is going to be a very long video because of how long the original was. So here we are, the senior class of 2022 documentary. I love that edit. So this was quite a very big project for me. Took a lot of kind of like what's the word I'm looking for? I lost my train of thought, but it was a lot of like planning, unorthodox planning, where I didn't really fully know where I would have taken this project, but I knew the general sense of it. It's interviewing uh, a lot of students who are also my classmates for this little documentary of sharing experiences, sharing our honest opinions and views of what has happened through our high school experience, and that's what I wanted. And that's what it turned out to be, just a bunch of interviews collected together. And I did I did good with that. I Looking back on it now, I think there's just some like stuff that I wish that I did better about like interviewing these people, especially like these first two interviews where that's the senior class president and valedictorian. I kind of wish I differentiated these better. Like I included me with these first two interviews. I just I just kind of look awkward on camera. I'm not gonna lie. You can notice a lot of cuts, especially with these first two interviews, since like I'm there and then like I gotta like remember my questions on the fly. I barely did, to be honest. Um, I didn't really have to worry much about like the people that I was interviewing because those answers would be on the fly, and they could say if off the record or whatnot. I think like some cuts I wanted to make where like there's some long pauses. I think I did that just for the sake of time, not just for uh, people pausing and whatnot. I think I remember some telling me that they wanted me to cut down like their long pauses and their stuttering. I think some did tell me that, which I did. There was also a sense where I wanted to differentiate the questions for the senior class president and the valedictorian, because these are supposed to be like our student, our classmates that have like both sides of the world within the class. Where the senior class president, they kind of like help us uh, have a fun year and have academically successful year, and the valedictorian is the one who like comes out on top for being the most successful academically. I want like input from like those two sides of our world, so that's why I had to do two separate interviews. Not sure why I zoomed in on here. I think it was because oh no, I remember because I was looking at the camera too. And I didn't want to be looking at the camera where I wasn't saying anything. So here's our valedictorian. I didn't even say like what people should wear. Um, I think at most I told people was like however you like or like professionally casual. Our valedictorian here wore his MIT hoodie, which is fitting because he got accepted to MIT. Also, another thing, I wish everybody's audio was like mic here. I wish that because this was all done on my phone, um, and it didn't really have any like uh, like high end recording mic capabilities. It was just my simple camera setting. So it just kind of created like this audio trouble where like some students were speaking softly and sometimes it can't be picked up that much. I think the overall audio mixing is fine for the most part because if you set it to the right volume, you can hear enough of it. It's just you can also hear background noise. Like throughout all the interviews, they can hear all sorts of cluttering or or some students like outside in the hall. All these interviews were done in this classroom provided by my teacher who allowed me to record in this classroom during like some free times. So I appreciate him for that to this day. I think I was asking him a lot of questions related to I'm trying to remember correctly, but also listening like basically like the same-ish questions I was asking everybody else, but also like related to what he's gonna do with career and what's he gonna do at college. Here's some more production stuff. Um, yes, the planning was very hard because I had to walk up to a bunch of my classmates. I had to walk out to a bunch of people to see if like they wanted to be part of it. Of course, I didn't want everybody, and that's not meant to be against people. That's just like that is too many people to fit into a good length. This is already like almost 2 hours, and it's only like 50 students. There was way more of us. And here's everybody introducing themselves. I liked how I edited this. This was nice. Of course, the 50 turned into 49 because of one student here. Of course, not shown. I failed tattoo cut due to outside circumstances that was not seen as professional, and I didn't want to promote that. It's good. It's good to watch this again because I haven't watched it in quite a while. Um, it's also a bit of a harder video to network with, considering it's a very long video. Yeah, it's great. It's good. It's good that I was able to get everybody for this. I mean, like get the people to participate in this. I feel like I was barely gonna get anybody, but I ended up with the 50, 49, whatever. First off, they were asked how has this year treated them. Some have described it as a roller coaster. And like paying attention to the music, I give that credit to you may not know him. Nate Wants to Battle music, his Give Heart Beats music, the copyright free lo-fi music. I felt like a lot of the tracks were fitting for the nature of this project. It gives some nice like relaxing music to listen to, but also like the way for me it's just kind of like there's something to listen to while I listen to these people talk, you know. There wasn't any rules that I there wasn't any like rules or like specific things to say that I set out for these people to say. Everything is a go. Besides, like uh, bullying or stuff like that, or keeping the school name, teacher, and staff names all secret. Considering the project is not in partnership with the school, so I felt like it was best to like keep it all anonymous. All right. So the first question was, how has the year treated you? Um. So obviously this question comes from these students coming back from like a year and a half worth of distance learning, which has taken a toll on the majority of us. So I wanted to hear like, okay, so this is the year that we're back, and how has it been treating you? Is it treating you better? Has it been just the same old? I wanted to hear that. Yeah, I split like people's answers into like little groups of okay, this sounds like this kind of answer, and then they said this kind of answer. You also notice some like certain I guess like attire that some of these guys wear. Um, majority of this was filmed during like our spirit week, so like it's the week where students get to dress up in these different things. Like this one specific day where like our class color is red, so everybody's wearing red, so you'll notice a lot of that.
It's been great. It's been an improvement from my previous high school years. You know, it's been fun. I'm enjoying this year. I don't know. This year's
But pretty much like every day for I say, oh, how long was it? I think about 2 weeks. What was recording everybody. Um, I definitely got like majority in like in that first week, which was the spirit week.
It's been good. I feel like after having like over like 2 semesters of online learning, I feel like it's just different to be
I'm also grateful for everyone being honest throughout these interviews. To be honest, I felt I was gonna get like a lot of like nervous and shy answers, but with the people I got, they shared their experiences, they shared their views, they were very honest of what happened, and I like that. It helps gives this um
I think this year's been a little bit different.
the
Definitely on learning and just kind of
it helps gives this
learning to be
project
the
like a
person I want to be
voice
and learning. Basically,
in a way.
it all kind of came quick. Everything kind of came quick since we all got quarantined, and it was almost like we were growing up really quick, and we had to do it really quick. So just find out what you want to do, find out who I want to be in my future, and who I want to be around.
And then there were those. You also probably notice the one student that has a sign that says "I'm sober." A unique question to the class of 2022 is the difference between their it was a whole like joke thing with our spirit week.
Well, because it was different sophomore years, I was hanging out with different
Oh my
people.
god, I censoring like the because that censoring like the school name right there on her hoodie. That was more complicated than I thought because this was still an iMovie. I was still trying to get used to things. There's like no like censor like blur feature on iMovie, so it's like green screen like a bubble to censor the name and logo.
Well, my sophomore year was a really bad year for me. It didn't start off the best, and it didn't end the best either. I mean, given the pandemic and everything going online, I was actually happy it ended with the
There's
pandemic.
also points where
I know
like
some people like
some wanted to
the way
share the screen time with a
experience things, but
friend.
during the pandemic, I was
I
really
allowed
happy
that.
because
Basically, just to like help save
I
time in
didn't
some
have to
way.
stress and worry about
Uh,
anything.
but
I
also
just
just
tried to do
like
something that kept
have
everything
people
moving.
bounce off of each other if
So
they
I
would
loved it.
like.
And the pandemic
Especially
allowed me
here,
to
there's
slow down
three that wanted to do
sure,
it
I had a little
together.
extra stress, anxiety, and fear in my life, but still, it made things a bit easier for me.
I
My
think it
senior
was
year, on the other hand, started off great and continued
though at some points where it was
to
just
build
like
up towards
creating
my senior
like
year, and I've enjoyed my senior year. I've had
empty
my ups and
space
downs throughout my senior
at
year,
times
but
because it would be only be like one
this being
person
senior year,
speaking.
it's better.
So I feel
And
like at
there's so
times
many
the
different
screen
ways in
time
my senior year.
was a bit empty because there's only one person speaking and the other is just kind of sitting there.
Pretty neutral on it.
But
It
I
was
think it's
all
all
around pretty
right
good.
for the most part.
How you feeling?
it was what they wanted to do.
with robotics. Um,
And to be honest, for me,
Still fun.
it turned out fine.
But would say that my senior year was definitely the best. It's I don't know, it's been very fun, especially with all the events like prom and whatnot.
My
So
sophomore
the
year
first question
was
was how's the year treated you, and this next question is the difference
I didn't
between
do anything
our
that
10th
time.
grade and our 12th grade, because 10th
Very
grade
short.
was the moments,
Coming back as
the big
as a
moments where
senior,
we went
definitely
into
took
lockdown and went into
more
distance learning,
time doing it all at
did all of
home.
that.
Actually showing.
Grades rather than just like being on. Okay.
I think overall with the focus of this question, a lot of people lean into like how their work style involve,
I feel like have
which I found
students do
nice.
more adult
Helps
things, more real life things,
differentiate
with kind of
answers.
still that mindset of sophomore year, I guess, because we didn't get to go out a lot. We didn't slowly get that transition into coming in from like sophomore, then the senior from like kind of more kiddish things to like more adult things. So I kind of got pushed into the adult world a bit more.
But it also made like splitting some sections harder, because a lot of the answers were just like very different from each other, so I couldn't really group up a lot of them.
Obviously I did have my good moments.
That was a bit of a problem with a few of the questions,
From always being
um, but it still helps get the answers out.
can't do anything.
Year, expecting not to feel that much.
Something I also
better, but
remember,
I have proof. I have done better.
the like how some students were grouped together for screen time. Others were just sitting there in a room while the person did their interview. Um, which I didn't mind at all because of course they stay quiet. They weren't much of a they don't they didn't cause much distractions for the video itself or recording itself.
I think there's a big
Plus, I think it was nice just to have everybody in the room that I wanted to interview
the way
for like that day.
they address things.
Just have them all, so I'm not like scrambling outside just to get them in and then record that. Because scrambling outside would have taken up more of that free time, and overall, filming the project would have taken a lot longer. And we did, and I did not have a lot of time because this was close to the end of the year. It was April, late April, May, late April, early May, where like I was planning and coordinating and multitasking and coming up with the questions at the same time. So it was very difficult for me, but I got it done.
Here now we're back in person, I feel a lot.
There was
more
also
relieved and
parts
able to
where
say
I
probably
cut
sophomore.
out people's answers.
Appreciate stuff more.
One, for the sake of time, and two, for sounding like the same, like very similar to another person's answer. Like, yeah, they could be similar. They could just say they just said it a little differently, but there were points where like, okay, this person said this thing, and the person basically said the same thing in that same way. So there were times where I had to like cut that out. Nothing against the students, just whichever came first, and whatever sounded more right for cutting.
Doing a lot better academically than I am this year. That's not to say I didn't do great this year. I still got a ton of awards and everything. We hung out at the awards assembly. It was pretty sweet. We ate cheese and crackers. It was good.
That's what I mean. Like some parents, they just bounce off of each other very well, and I felt that was nice to include within the nature of the project.
But yeah, that's my answer.
So
As well as, but exciting for the.
I
first
think there
time
was
that
also
we
a
were
point
so
where like I
so
didn't
it's
know
really good compared
which
to
way
what
to
I
organize the clips. For the most part, I tried to organize them by the different
I guess
in chronological order. So like who I first filmed to who I last filmed.
thing is,
Um, but there are parts where I just kind of like shifted around people's clips first before the other, which I'm not completely sure why I did that. I know I wanted some like consistency of like there's this group saying this, and then to the end this group is saying this.
fast. So sophomore year it was slow, but senior year it was super fast. And it was a
I
lot
think like
faster.
this section where like it's put together chronologically. Our seniors expect going into distance learning. So the expectations of distance learning,
And it was. So
For the end of sophomore year, we were.
I was trying to go a bit of a chronological timeline of events. So okay, the students were here, and now the students are there. Um, so so first I wanted to people to like remind themselves, okay, how has this treated you first, and then next like okay, going back retrospective wise,
it was very boring.
what happened in the
But some
past,
classes
that
were
kind of
very
thing.
stressful because it was online, and I'm an in-person learner.
Yeah, I'm it was just.
So with the expectations of distance learning, it was quite very much a new thing. It was a new thing for all of us,
It was pretty chill.
I didn't know what to expect.
and for being the class where like we were here interrupted, and then all throughout one year we were just stuck in that moment, and then the next year we're back.
Classes and do whatever you want.
Um,
But I did notice that once we started, it was.
but overall, the focus was like what was gonna become the
I
new
expected
thing.
The worst thing to happen to
I
me.
remember the first day of distance learning.
I think for me personally, a lot of people were expecting like some sort of like homeschool type
I
of
thought it was going to be
type
the
of
best
thing,
thing
but it was also
ever.
the thing where like it's still like being done by
I
like
had to wake up early, but
this
I wanted to connect with
supposed
my
boring environment that are in schools right now with the teachers and what's supposed to be an environment of a classroom, but you're home, you're watching your screen for long
I
hours,
had two friends that I would talk
just
to on the
listening
phone,
to the
but
teacher go on and
they
on,
didn't go to my school, and I felt like I
and
had
you're
lost
not
contact
really
with everyone.
you're most
And I
likely
did
not
touch base with my
dressed.
friends.
You probably
And also
haven't like
school,
not even
I mean, it was
eaten. You're
easy,
laying in bed or
but
just
it
playing video
felt
games
too
to the side.
easy to the point where I wasn't learning anything.
I didn't really know.
So it wasn't really a
I never had an idea
homeschool
of what it was.
type of experience.
I
It was
kinda
just
expected it, well, to be
it was
like,
just school,
you get your work at
but
the beginning of the week and you turn it in at
like
the end.
stump to a lower
I
level
didn't
of
really expect going into Zoom meetings
a
and
lower
all
level
that,
of engagement
an
that people
actual schedule.
just did not want.
I think what was surprising is like the lack of.
As much as we could. I expected myself just to wake up and have this computer screen blast into my eyeballs for like 8 hours straight. And then
Honestly, kind of real for that.
exactly what it is.
Yeah.
I guess that's where my motivation
I wanted to do outside of school, and that was great.
I honestly was expecting a 2-week spring break, like they said.
We like yeah,
However-
like 2-week break, and then we're going
However-
right back to school.
The 2-week spring break ended up being all the way.
That was also the thing. We were
Everybody fully came
all
back.
of us were promised a 2-week spring break.
I preferred the way that it
But of
was
course,
from
as
the
everyone
second semester
know by now,
had
the situation got worse,
that were given every
and
week.
that 2-week spring break
Because it reminds me of
became
how
indefinite,
college
and that became
That was
a whole school year
Teacher work,
of
you
distance
at your own
learning.
leisure.
Turn it in on time. They expect you to just more of a.
If you want to know another factoid of production, I was behind the camera the whole time, my phone, just reading off the questions. Of course, I cut all that out and then just made myself voiceover for like the little title cards stuff, which looked better and sounded better.
Like I thought it was gonna be easy, and not that it wasn't easy. It's just that if you have X, Y, Z going on, and you don't want to do this or you don't want to do that, you're not putting in the effort. If you're not actually paying attention,
Something I'm just noticing now. There's like
who really paid attention.
it like zooms in and zooms out. It's that little focus thing. And anytime like a person moves, the focus tries to fix itself,
Lessons itself were easy, but
which kind of makes like the video wonky at times. And that's really not the student's fault. It's just like it's a me problem, not knowing how to set up my phone camera. And now I have an actual camera where I actually know how to mess with the settings and all that.
I couldn't.
I
I felt disconnected from the world, from society, and from the school.
Like kind of in the top left
It
corner,
was
you can just see some other students
it was
just
hard to
walking
feel
by.
motivation to be able to get up in the morning to just
Really funny.
go to
It's almost like
it's not
the
the
project
same.
was recorded during school time,
I was just
the free time, mind
proud of
you.
myself for being able to get through it. That would be it.
The distance learning year was tough for everybody. But so first expectations, then going
I
into
would
what
say
was
no
it like?
because everybody was behind the screen the whole time.
Of course, some people kind of already like answered that with the expectations. But hey, I had a format going. I needed something.
We all played them. Jackbox.
We would also do it for birthday parties too, to kind of help it go through the days blend a lot.
I think I also remember like
Like the middle of the pandemic. And
I only really wanted voiceover and not just me speaking behind the camera. It was mainly because in that moment where I was just being like very serious and like
Group of friends.
I sounded serious and bored at the same time, where like I was like trying to respond back to these people's answers, but I didn't really know how.
But it was fun.
Again, not really good at speaking.
Honestly, you just had to put in the message.
So I didn't really want to implement me into these
Picked up new hobbies.
guys'
Yeah,
to these people's interviews.
I did some stop motion stuff.
My computer.
I'm not sure if like me like saying something that they can say off the record because like I don't know. I was like recording the whole time. It would just have to be like something like in the moment. So I'm not. I think it's definitely like a rule that
Playing a VR game in which I was able to socialize with people
that I
online.
didn't set out as the director of this project, and that it's a rule that I should set out when making future projects. So definitely a lesson learned from this one.
I work as a taekwondo instructor, and
No matter what.
It was a long year of finding opportunities and discovering many things. So what challenges did they put on themselves? So yeah, moving on into the senior year. After a whole year of probably failed expectations and looking back on like how they try to spend that time just to make it any better, and then like coming back, what would be the thing to challenge themselves to either bring back their former self or evolve their self.
To enjoy the year for one last time.
I guess work. I work with my parents a lot. My family has an ice cream truck, and I like to help my mom out since she's starting out. I work a lot.
A lot of people with the job answer. I did notice that there's quite a lot of us that went into having jobs, either working like with small businesses or like doing something for the family, with the family.
to not procrastinate.
But also just finding jobs and getting jobs in general. There was quite a lot of us that did get jobs. I'm quite proud of people for that.
On a good note,
Yeah. Same.
After 4 long years. Coming back to the end.
It could be my family, my mom, my dad. My
Yeah,
dog,
who are these
my dad
students
told me so
grateful
much
for?
about them.
What was in your life for them to push through and challenge themselves and rise up back from the possible failed expectations of what was supposed to be like this supposed easy and or 2 week spring break
You should be
year.
you know, you shouldn't just be wasting your time. You should be like
So,
going out, hanging out with your friends. You know.
I believe it was nice for me. It was nice to hear for this project who are these seniors grateful for,
So stuff like
and I
hanging out with friends and just living like an actual normal human being.
and that's just like a shared experience probably with like family, friends, and it's good to like share like the different like views of like okay, who was there for you, your family, your friends.
Brianna Gomez, she definitely helped me get through a lot.
I think a part of me wishes there was a lot more visual stuff going on, like maybe like some pictures or maybe like some things of what some people are talking about, or maybe just like cool little graphics or subtitles. I wish I did subtitles, honestly. But that was a me problem and can go into account of laziness. uh, yeah. I don't know. I just really wasn't big on like making subtitles. Now, like I'm doing better at that, trying to do that, but it's still not to its full thing for me.
Easy,
Faster.
surprising,
refreshing,
boring, fun, scary, lazy,
Tiring, explorative, crazy,
Then on to junior year.
Non-existent.
sad,
difficult.
And then like I
lazy,
and then like with this question, the midpoint. This would be kind of like the midpoint section of like this kind of like little like fun little edit of people describing each of the years in one word. That was really fun. That was really fun in editing.
all right.
And then there are even some that can only describe all 4 years in one word.
Cataclysmic.
I
Agonizing.
life changing.
I did one bit of like a mini like intermission of like something happening, you know.
Though coming back to campus, we still had to face a lot of event cancellations, therefore not making senior year the best it can be. But let's see what our seniors have to say.
So what events did the class of 2020?
Just kind of to see.
Okay, yeah. So this section, so like this next like big like segment is so like the first segment was all about the pandemic. Second segment is about like the senior year itself, like the events of senior year. What do we do as like part of the school activities,
I wish we had a lot
or like what we wish what happened. So like this discussion, what events did we wish happened? Because we did experience a lot of like events canceled because we were still the year was still suffering from the effects of the pandemic.
in 8th grade that they brought, like, it was rescue dogs, I think it was, or therapy.
There was a feeling of like maybe senior year did not live to its full potential.
It would have been so much better after everything that happened. Like,
So I wanted to document that.
year and a half. I think I would would. Renaissance Fair this year, but we're unable to do that.
I agree with you. I would have really wanted to do the Renaissance Fair, and I mean, we could always still go outside of school because it ends like at the end of the month. But like, still, it's like it's more fun to go with the school because it's an excuse to like ditch school for the day, basically.
I would agree with the Renaissance Fair, but I can't think of anything else.
I really wish I'd been able to do the Renaissance Fair back sophomore year. That got canceled. Would have been fun to experience.
I wish there was an actual field trip. Like I wish there was a school, not a school-wide, but I mean even just a senior field trip. I know there's grad night, but I feel
There was also a sense of like
especially in like winter,
of people wanting field trips.
where there was a lot of
Especially this one, the Renaissance Fair. I remember that being a field trip in the 9th grade,
so I feel like
and we were gonna do it again
if we did
in the
it
10th grade,
today to
but we all know what happened. So
then it would definitely motivate kids to
that
come back to
so,
the second
yeah, so that was just like a field trip that like everybody wanted to do, but got canceled, and we wish, and I believe like quite a majority few wanted it to happen for the senior, but it just couldn't happen because still suffering the effects from the pandemic.
Extra safe, avowed, and disapproved and canceled. And
I think this is
a lot of
this
things
was
that
also the part
happened that
where
would
like
make you really
a
cool.
lot of people started like critiquing the school.
I actually didn't have any expectations.
Next is the expectations of prom. So like that's the big senior event that happens at any other school. So of course we had prom. We were able to do that. It was late into the year where like, okay, this is something we can do. Wear a mask. That was also a bit of a thing. Kind of ish.
I was gonna be a little lame.
So basically, I just wanted to document
Their energy
this specific experience of prom, but like mainly just expectations of like
reminded me
we
of
were
the
still
fact
going
that
through the whole canceled events kind of
eventful, but
turmoil of the
very
year.
indulgent.
I expected prom to be more lively than it was. I also expected there to be more people like dancing and actually enjoying themselves instead of just sitting at the tables.
Honestly, it was everything I expected.
I would say that
just
that's the
because I had the
thing
people
where
I love
people
right next to me,
would
and
go
I had the
off
time of
on
my
like
life
TV
to make the
shows,
best of it.
movies
I
of
thought it was
prom.
gonna be a lot more socially
Uh,
distant. Had more
and like it
rules.
kind of comes to the consensus. Oh, this is nothing
It was a
like the
lot more
TV
opened
show
up than I
or the
expected.
movie,
So
whatever it
it was
is.
great. I wasn't expecting anything like crazy, like something like to start us off again since it's our
Yeah,
first
there it
year.
is, the movies.
I didn't expect to go to date, but I did. I
Yeah,
know a lot
when
of people had a
of
lot
course
of fun.
we were
Like
part of like that
freshmen
generation where we seen a lot of stuff when we were younger, and like this depiction of high school and this depiction of the dances, high school dances, or but mainly prom. We saw what it could be, but it's really all not all that, you know.
All that mattered that we had fun and we were able to go home and just have a good day.
I thought prom was gonna be boring, just because of how
That's a funny answer. I like that answer.
knew it was kind of like some stuff were put.
Prom was just about as rowdy and loud as I thought it was gonna be. It was a little bit more secluded since people were still getting used to being socially distanced, and many people were still wearing masks and such, even though we weren't required. But it was.
It was a
still
lot more
loud
open
and
up though.
crazy, but
That's
it
that was
a
that was
little
the
bit
thing. Like
different compared to
like
prom.
all like the restrictions were just recommended, not enforced.
Kind of more lively than I expected. Glad that a lot of
I don't believe anybody came back sick. I don't believe. Not that I can remember. Unless somebody can correct me on that.
I feel like the prom was pretty fun, considering I don't talk a lot.
I expected it to be cool and fun. I didn't go like with the date or anything. I just went with friends. And
I feel like people had like the expectations of like, oh, this is like the dance where you gotta take someone, as like depicted in like the shows and movies, but it's kind of just another party. I mean, you get like a fancy dinner, which we got, quote unquote fancy. I can't specifically remember what the dinner was. But yeah.
So I gotta.
As I'm watching these like interviews go on, I'm realizing a lot of these like camera positions are completely screwed up. Like it's creating like a lot more empty space than it needs to be. I am so sorry to my past self. Oh, just remembered another production thing. Of course, like this is the prom question. There was some people that I had. There was like some definite people I had to skip this question for because not everybody went to prom, so I had to like first ask like, oh, did you go to prom? No? Okay, moving on to the next question. But if you did go to prom, okay, I can ask this question. I don't know why I did it.
I just felt like, because I feel like sometimes the energy us seniors do put out is kind of low.
We did go to a pretty nice venue.
Realized, this is a one-time thing.
We
get hyped and get
we ended up with like good like fundraising efforts, I believe. I could be wrong. I could be like stand corrected for that. I did remember that we still had to like pay a lot to go in.
More activities and
Oh, yeah.
to look into what could be a career for us. Here's some of our seniors.
So I didn't have like a little like quick edit mini fun intermission for this next section.
Nadine was in swim.
So I did try out for swim. That was really interesting.
Though into like this next section we go into like how else we were involved in our senior activities, like either like sports or job wise. So I wanted to get into that.
To actually say that I did
was in ninth grade, and I did cross country. I did a little bit of track in ninth grade, but
Here, the little door squeak.
I did volleyball this year, and yeah, apparently we went to CSF.
Yeah, that did happen sometimes in the interviews. Most of it cut, most of it found its way in.
Lucas was in soccer.
So this year, I'm one of the lead sales associates. I just sell to people. It's really fun. I get to interact with people. I like it.
The class of 2022 is part of the next generation of important figures and leaders. Some were asked how.
Yeah, so this was a pretty big question impacting the world. Of course, with like with this next generation of people going into college or having many other opportunities and such, I wanted to document like this very moment of what do these students, what do these seniors that are graduating want to do, and we'll see in the future if they reach that. I'm just gonna say this again. I just kind of wish I had more visual information
I want to do some.
instead of the students just
actually
talking.
Just
Put up some images, put up some text, put up some graphics.
came up
I kind of wish I kind of wish I let myself have more of my freedom of style incorporated into this project. I wanted to take this project as serious as possible. Um,
Simple parts or simple enjoyable.
but in that seriousness, I feel like I kind of just lose my own creative control, which is
definitely
kind of a weird thing to say for myself.
I feel like I would be able to do that with my clothing brand.
I am proud of this project. I'm proud of how it turned out. I just wish I let myself express my style more,
Inspire people through the art that I make, and
which I kind of didn't really fully find back then. Now that I do,
just realize that that person looks good.
but I feel like there was like that sense of like it was there. I just didn't do it for this project.
We will now see where our seniors are heading for college and what career best fits them.
UC Santa Cruz, Cal State LA. What I'm planning to do is business economics as
Okay, so I feel like
in the government department, and then like
did I mess up the order in this? Okay, so it goes from like, okay, so how are you gonna impact the world? And then next I want to explore like their college and career path.
UC San Diego. I think computer science.
Did I get the order wrong? I should have been like college and career first and then impacting the world.
Something related to art or mechanical engineering.
We'll be attending ABC next.
Well, no. Okay, no. I got my process for this. It was like, okay, so what is the ultimate goal that you are going to like impact the world? And the next question is, what college and career you were gonna go into to do that? I think that was my brain processing. Of course, like not everybody like answered with like what they wanted to do. So moving on into like this next question of like, okay, so this group wants to impact the world. Where are they gonna go into for that? And then like just like straightforward the other group. Okay, is there like a career or college that you're considering to do at the moment? You know.
I'm going to be going
He has a lot of experience in the medical field already.
Something I should have done. I feel like combine did the describe each year in one word edit again with this one, because a lot of people like say the same college, and then like after that have people say like their different careers. I think that would have been better for the sake of time.
For the first 2 years.
I'm still not over the fact that this is almost 2 hours. I just feel like I wish there was like a lot more to those 2 hours and not just interviews.
We could attending ABC for 2 years and then switching.
But it was really all that I was working with.
I'm gonna be attending CSUN. I'm going to ABC and I'm attending.
Yeah, you see, you just hear like a lot of the same college. So I wish I combine those part of those clips into like that edit that I did, but I didn't. I don't know why. I actually don't know why.
Focus on the medical field, mechanic.
So I don't know. Maybe. Well, not really. Maybe because I was gonna say like maybe there should be like a remastered version of this video. Remastered not in terms of like, is it in 4K remaster? Not that type of remaster. Remaster just like, kind of just like re-editing this video. But I don't have the original clips anymore. I only just have like the backup of like the full rendered video, and I don't think that'll make much use of
like that, you know. I think it would be a lot
of
fun.
remastering it.
Remember that you don't have to pick something
Our last day being sooner. Let's see if our seniors have any favorite memories and how they plan on staying in touch with each other.
Some of the seniors were asked how some of their friendships evolved over the years.
Oh, we hated each other.
No, we did not. Anyway, so
Alright, so now going into the final section of this massive video is the memories. What do we create? How did our friendships evolve? This question is this question is about how the friendships between people involved. I mainly focus on like the pairings that were in this video because you know those were the friends.
One of the
Yeah.
things that really tests a lot of friendship, especially here.
Now, how our seniors are gonna stay in touch with each other?
I don't. I mean, my core.
Alright, so
friends,
like
yeah.
the next question I wanted to document was like, okay, so how are you guys gonna stay in touch with your friends? Because
I plan to still talk
you kind of, you know, with some with some people you kind of like you kind of seen for a long time. So I was like, and most would be like going their separate ways into college or career paths or even being part of the military.
It's really just keeping it close.
So like I just wanted to know like how people would stay in touch.
Occasionally talk to, you'll swipe up on stories and check up on them or whatever. But mainly you'll have your group.
I feel like a lot of the answers I documented though were just kind of
It's just whenever you guys have time.
either like social media or just no I don't.
A good amount of them are the same palm though. Obviously me, I'm gonna stay here.
Or like some ways like meeting up. Those were kind of like the general answers that I got from this question. It's not a bad thing. I'm just like kind of noticing. I'm just kind of noticing there wasn't really. There wasn't really much to document from the question besides like meeting up or not staying in touch.
Let's take another look back and see what the favorite memories were.
All right, so pretty much one of like second to finale questions. You know, the favorite memories. That's a pretty big question when you know with retrospective stuff or documentary stuff.
Like no care in the world. It was actually early January. I just finished my first semester, got my grades up, did my Eagle Scout, had a
This was like the second to finale like question that I wanted to document, just for the sake of I wanted to end the documentary on a good reflection, not just like not of the pandemic, not of all the event cancellations, not of the whole year lockdown restricted. Just the good memories of overall in high school. What were the good memories that people had? I want people to reflect on a good, to end on that note. But there's like one more question. It would be better to end off for the next generation of seniors in high school.
It's a big laugh for the rest of the year.
And finally, our last question.
So yeah, the big moment, the big finale, advice for the next generation of students, basically. More so, you know, the next senior class, and that would be the class of 2023.
This junior year, going into senior year,
because they were up and coming, they were gonna be seniors too, and for like this senior class of being like we're back from the pandemic, we're seeing this world change, we're seeing ourselves evolve. So advice to me is like the most important thing to end off of reflection and retrospective, and passing that on to this next generation.
Yeah, and time goes by.
And I love,
So,
and like reviewing all the footage, I love everybody's answers.
I remember it's been 9th grade, and now I'm in senior year, like 3 weeks till graduation.
So as we get closer to the end, I just want to talk about more of like how I what was like the turnaround for this project. So basically, I kind of wrapped everything. Like it was like almost like the last day of school for us, and that was around the time where I wrapped up. Of course, I was like editing at the same time, more, less. I mean, more putting together, less editing. Like just putting like a rough timeline.
Having some form of a plan.
And then editing, it went into like early July.
Would recommend that future or the current juniors, future seniors, take a lot of
and it came out.
That's one way you're gonna really find your passion.
What I also did to just promote this video overall was basically just collaborate with the senior class president and posting it to like our senior class socials.
So
I'm glad that I was able to do that, and it reached like a lot of people within our class.
Take these seconds back.
I'm so glad about that.
Each day gets closer to your goal. That's my advice.
I'm not sure of how many people paid attention,
Don't give up. And
but
no
it
matter where you
reached
go,
people.
Or what you do, or what anyone says, don't let anyone.
Don't get your shit together, bro.
Don't make.
I know somebody else.
Stop being annoying.
Yeah, stop being annoying. Get your shit together. Skipping class.
I should mention I did allow swearing. It will still help the idea of this documentary being honest, opinionated, sharing views, sharing experiences. So I allowed it for the sake of like not censoring honesty throughout the interviews.
The good work.
Senior year came with its usual challenges, and we are lucky enough to have come back.
Also, shout out one of the students, Alan, for being my cameraman for those little clips where I have to like sit down and record like some lines. And here are some pictures that I collected from a bunch of people. Some of our senior grad night, some of our graduation, some of prom. And here are some clips that people shared. I wish I got a lot more. Not a lot of people shared, but I worked with what I got. It was like a nice like culminating moment of like, here we are, we're having fun. I didn't get a lot. I wish I had a lot more.
Good luck to the class of 2023, and hope you guys get to experience way more. Thank you for watching the documentary. Once again, I'm Nicholas Morales, part of the senior class of 2022.
And I did a little
filmmaking and music making.
did a little self-promotion, shameless self-promotion at the end. Haha. This is also my clip I recorded myself of our graduation, our principal speaking.
Okay, that will be all. Thank you for your time.
No, thank you, Nick. Put that in. Keep that in.
And that would be the end. I included a little blooper at the end because he asked me to. Of course, this project was dedicated to my dad. He was he's involved in the education field. So in general, he's been involved in the education field. So I felt like this documentary was like just documenting the student experience and showing that to my dad. Just showed him the views and experiences. And to the senior class of 2022, a lot of them were my friends, are my friends. And I'm so grateful for them participating. And I'm also very proud of what they have been doing so far. I've seen a lot of them do so many great things. I've seen a lot of them exploring the world. And I'm glad that this project is like a landmark in like of their reflection and into the future. So I dedicate this project to them. and to the future graduating classes, because yeah, this was like the moment where we came back and we were gonna challenge ourselves, we were gonna improve ourselves, and we wanted to give that advice, we wanted to give that power to the next to the next class, to the next generation of students that graduate. I'm having so much trouble speaking. Sorry. I'm very proud of this video. I'm grateful for everybody who participated. I'm grateful for my teacher who helped provide the classroom in his during the free times that we had, and that'll be it. I'm proud of the project. I wish I can go back and fix a lot of stuff about it. Make this shorter. It does drag in a few places. That is not on the students' fault. That's just me trying to figure out the project, because because when it was first conceived, it was just like, okay, this is gonna happen, and we're gonna go straight into that. That is what happened, and of course, there was still like a lot of planning and coordinating involved because of getting all the people together. That's just how it is. So even though I would go back, fix some stuff, I'm still very proud of the product. I'm still very proud of what I can show off to my fellow classmates from the school. Now that's gonna be it. So leave a like if you enjoyed this commentary. Subscribe to see more of my content and more content like this. Comment down below what you thought. Comment down what you think of the documentary now. I've heard a lot of stuff back then, but I want to hear some stuff now. So it's been about 2 years, and I'll see you all next time. Bye, yo.